Hello everyone, here's my review for Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. I just got out of the theater. I actually saw this in Dolby because that was the only time that was going to work for my brother, my sister, and I, but I gotta say, I didn't really care for this film. Having just watched Ready or Not, I was kind of confused as to where they would go for a sequel, and I think that confusion was justified because I'm not sure that there's enough in this film to really justify its own existence. I'll start with what I liked though, because I think Samara Weaving is still great in this role. Actually, I think she's the only performer that gives a good performance in this movie, because basically everybody else is either forgettable or really annoying. Catherine Newton really got on my nerves as Faith. Elijah Wood is in this movie for some reason. He feels a little miscast in the role of the lawyer, but some of the side characters have actors that are also really annoying. So the entire cast is just kind of a mess. But overall, I really don't think that Ready or Not 2 has enough going on narratively to exist. One of my issues with the first film was that I wish they had gone a little bit more into Grace's character, but I don't think that gap is enough to make a whole film out of, and I think we see that with Ready or Not 2, because they give Grace a sister to try to develop her more, but it feels like Faith, who is Grace's sister in this film, really only exists for the purpose of making a sequel. It doesn't feel like a natural development in the plot. It feels like, oh, we gotta make Ready or Not 2. Here's Grace's sister that nobody knew about. And the villains are the same way. It feels like they expanded the scope of the universe just for the sake of making another movie. I appreciate the attempt to add more to Grace's character through Faith. I think if they were going to do a second film, that's probably what they should have done. But I think the premise of making a second film is just bad. And Grace and Faith's relationship throughout this film isn't even particularly compelling. It's actually kind of jumpy the way it moves around. And the villains really aren't as entertaining as the first films either. What's also a shame is that the horror action and the comedy, which were kind of what the first film did so well, are really forgettable in this film. I think there's one sequence, which this is a little bit of a spoiler, but nothing too crazy. There's a sequence where Grace has to fight another character, but they've both just been sprayed in the face with pepper spray. So they're both wailing about, and it's actually really entertaining. But that's the film's only memorable sequence. The rest of the gore and action is fine, but there's nothing nearly as entertaining as what the first film put forward. Of course, the production value is there for that stuff, though. Radio Silence has been good at this for a while, so the cinematography, the visual effects, the lighting, they're all on par for where they need to be. But story-wise, I really just don't think this film got to where it should have been. And for that, I'm going to give Ready or Not 2 a 5.8 out of 10. I really wouldn't recommend this, even for fans of the first film. I think they'll just find this quite forgettable. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I know this review is probably on the shorter side, but my camera cut out the first time I was trying to record it because my phone just happened to run out of storage. So hopefully you guys still enjoyed this. I am appreciating the support on all of my video reviews, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.